Another tight game. Can you pinpoint the difference out there tonight?
Well, I mean, obviously, the power play, we need to find a goal. They got one, and we didn't. I thought 5-on-5 we were excellent for most of the game. You know, obviously they do a good job on the face-off and tie the game. And I'd have to look at the third goal again as a bit of a broken play, bouncing puck, and they come up with it. But there wasn't much in this series. Obviously tight all the way, and we were in great position, right? 2-1 after 2 to prolong it. Obviously disappointed, and it's any time you lose in the playoffs, it's tough, and especially when I thought we'd give this team all they could handle, and we asked a lot of our group, and you gotta, I think, tough not to be proud of them, how hard they competed and worked all year, and definitely rose to the challenge here in the playoffs. And so that was part of the message just sent to them, and doesn't make it hurt any less though.
Such a young group that you got here. How much can you use this to build for next season?
Yeah, and it's the group will change as well, so it's tough to, when you just lost, you got guys who you won't see next year, so it's a bit hollow to say, let's build on it next year, So, but we had a bunch of guys take big time strides, and this experience they got, will be really helpful to them in their summer, and then coming in next season, hopefully taking another step. At the same time, it was all there to go further and gain even more experience and learn, and more of these games you play, it's big time, right? So that's disappointing, and it'll be hopefully fuel for a lot of guys as they go through their summers.
What was the delay on the third goal? The ref came over. Like, what was the discussion there? Was
Yeah, well,
goalie interference, you thought maybe? Or?
Yeah, I mean, there was some contact. It's hard to. I mean, we can't do much with video review here.
Yeah, only goal
in the American League.
Yeah.
They basically got to get together.
Yeah.
And look at it, and if they don't see it live, it's kind of tough.
And icing's obviously not reviewable either in the AHL.
No.
What did you make of that icing call?
Well, I mean, I'm at the bench, but obviously it had an effect on the game. Whether it was right or wrong, I don't know.
What were your thoughts on Johansen just throughout this whole series? He's a guy who might be coming back next year with Abbotsford. How do you think he played?
Yeah, well, it's baptism by fire, right? It's tough pace, but I thought, he looked more and more comfortable as he went, and hopefully these games he's should help him start on the right foot come fall.
When you look back at this series now through the 4 games, what was the biggest thing that swung this in the Wranglers' direction?
Probably, they scored in the power play and we didn't. That ended up being a big part of it. I thought 5-on-5 we were full value. I think that was probably, when you look back, a big deciding factor.
You put together the Baines Waters Kalinovic line for a little bit in this one. That was a line that you had in Penticton. It started with what was the thought process going back to that line a little bit tonight?
Well, I mean, we're trying to use the bench. Obviously, we've been playing with a pretty short bench all series, and just trying to get guys on the ice. So those are two pretty responsible players, and Klimo got a chance, right? I mean, that's trying to put him in a good situation. But I think again overall, 5-on-5 we played pretty well.
What about Tristan Nielsen's season? He scores that goal for you guys, give you the 2-1 lead. You mentioned hard work through your players throughout the series. Is he the perfect example of that type of player? Yeah, I mean, he's turned into a really good player at this level. I mean, he's a difference maker. I thought, playoffs here, the level's gone up, and it's a pretty good measuring stick of where you fit in, and he answered the bell every game. I thought he was an impact player, so that's proud of him.
Is there a lot for this organization to look forward to with the group that you have here and the prospects that you have in this team? Yeah, I mean, lots of positives as far as young players, showing they can play at this level, and we counted on them in big minutes. That's important, but I don't think anyone should be satisfied.
How did you say about the home crowd that you've had right here, all the support you've had throughout all the season, especially coming in with one of the toughest teams to your last playoffs?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're great all year, and I think we fed off that. We had a really good home record, and in the playoffs, that was kind of the chance for them to really step to the plate. And as far as, you know, players and coaches, I mean, it's the atmosphere. You can't ask for more. It was excellent. So, you know, the only regret is we couldn't have gone further.
How difficult is it or challenging, lastly, sorry, Craig, how difficult or challenging is it for the coaching staff when you send players up and down all the time with the parent club and you're looking at developing them?
Yeah, I mean, that's the league, though. You know, I think every other team in the league's doing it too. So I believe you develop by putting them in these situations, right? That's where they see where they measure up and what they need to do to take the next step. And I think a bunch of guys got a pretty good taste of it.